bensound.com. bensound.com. bensound.com.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. It's Friday. It's March 20th. March the 20th be with you. One of the coolest parts in any guitar is that little part of the solo to Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 where he goes. Welcome to the live stream. I'm Yossarian. I am your host. We're going to have some fun. We're going to start off with a song. I like to play a song at the beginning of the live streams as we kind of let people come in, as people filter on in. All right? We got a little bit of time till eventually we have, I think, we're estimated to be looking at, 200, 300,000 people. I let people on the Patreon vote on what song I'm going to open up with. And right now, let me move this up here. Let me turn up the volume a little bit. Can you guys hear me? My volume good? Now, here's a better question. Is my volume good? And also, wait. Where's the voice one? Oh, just a second here. Just a second. I have a whole setting for music here that I didn't fucking do. Let me also do this one. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Kenny Rogers Roasters. Ever actually been there? I like the name. It makes me hungry. Kenny Rogers Roasters. Anyway, all right. Let's hear this. Ooh, how do I sound right now, guys? Do I sound good and echoey? I can even hear myself. Just a second. Let me hear how I sound. Oh, but don't feedback too much. How does it sound? Oh, you can definitely hear me. Oh, heck yeah. Alrighty, guys. So I let people on the Patreon, patreon.com/Yoseri and Andrews, vote on what song I open the stream with. This week, the voters decided. Ladies and gentlemen, the voters decided. Not me. I would never decide. I don't hold that kind of power. I let you guys have that power. Oh, thank you, A-Hosey. I agree I sound perfect. They did not choose El Scorcho. Instead, they chose a song called The Gambler by Kenny Rogers about a weird asshole dying on a train. So, hope you enjoy my rendition of Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. Am I getting good echo right now? Yes, I think I am. Ooh, you better know how to hold it. Know how to hold it. Know how to fold it. Oh, that's a sound effect. Wait, just a second. It's latching. It's all turned on right now. Okay, good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is The Gambler. On a warm summer evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with the gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns staring out the window at the darkness, till boredom overtook us and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what their cards were by the way they held their eyes. So don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deadly quiet, and the face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold on, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done." And every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser. The best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. When he'd finished speaking, he turned back towards the window, crushed out his cigarette, and faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. In his final words I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold on, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table, be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. That means he died. That fucking guy died. Let's start the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get the applause button. What is making noise right now? Stop it. Thank you, I am Dougie Jones. I agree, that was great. Oh, here's the applause. Thank you all. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Those are the lyrics, Dougie Jones. Those are the actual lyrics. You gotta have a bigger penis. That's okay. I'm doing the Cumtown. What am I, SNL? And then I'm just ripping off Cumtown bits. Did you guys see last week on SNL? New guy, Jeremy Colhane, one of the best tooth gaps in the business. This guy. Get my voice, my audio to stop cracking. He came out and did a Tucker Carlson impression that was just Nick Mullins. Oh, I do still have the reverb on. Good call. Good call. Now I think it's off. Is it off now? Do I have it off? I've got the megaphone on, and actually, you're gay. You're gay now. I'm just ripping off Cumtown bits. Jeremy Colhane on SNL did an impression of Tucker Carlson. It's still on? No, it's not. You're full of shit. Now it's on again. Now it's not on. Now it's on?
Now this one's on, and this is maybe the most fun one.
The other day, by the way, I was doing therapy, which I do over the internet, which I don't really like very much, and I'd kind of like to do it in person, but it is good to actually, talk to somebody. And we were trying to make sure my audio was good at the beginning, and I was like, wrong button. I was like,
is it good? Does it sound good?
And my therapist was like, well, kind of, I think your audio's bad. You sound like a robot. And I was like,
oh, I'm sorry about that. I pressed the robot button on accident. Let me unpress that.
And now I'm not a robot anymore. Speaking of which, how do I actually express emotions? What's wrong with me? What's going on? What's happening? That was the thing. Jeremy Colhane on SNL just did Nick Mullins' Tucker Carlson impression, which is one of the best Cumtown bits. Sex used to feel good. Now it doesn't. What's going on? What's happening? So, SNL ripping off Cumtown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. I have an idea for this stream. All right, I wanted to do something a little different this week. Here's the twist, the big thing I'm doing. This week, I'm going to try. This week, I'm going to give the bare minimum shit. We've got stuff to talk about, stuff to do here. Normally, I just come on and I'm just rambling about Cumtown and Saturday Night Live and whatever fucking nonsense is in front of me. Not this time, baby. Not this time, baby. First, I need to, I'm going to post in some Discord groups. I should join more Discord groups. Anyone else got any more Discord groups I can join just to fucking spam links to this shit? Which would be cool and fun. You got to know how to hold them. Know how to fold them. There was a great Cumtown riff. You guys didn't know Cumtown was a podcast. The only funny podcast. Featuring Adam Friedland and Stavros Halkias. The two least funny of the three. And by far away the most successful. Stavros Halkias is like a legitimate movie star now. Adam Friedland is interviewing like fucking Gavin Newsom and shit. Adam from Cumtown. What a wild world we live in. Ladies and gentlemen, truly a wild-ass world. You got to know how to hold them. Know how to fold them. So I got a couple different things I want to talk about today. A couple videos I want to address. I want to talk about politics, culture, life, death. I want to tell you how to make $1 million, what supplements you need to be taking, otherwise your penis will fall off, all that kind of stuff. If you have anything you would like to see me or hear me or see me, you should be watching. If you're treating this like a podcast and you're not looking at my face, you're doing it wrong. Get it together. If you have anything you would like to hear me chat about, by all means, put it in the chat, and maybe I'll get to it. Maybe I won't. But I have things I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Stuff. All right, videos to watch. Right now, making fun of this and generally being silly. You got to know how to hold them. Know when your butt's big. Know how to kiss a man and when to be gay. Well, we lost a viewer on that one, but hey, it's fine. We're here. Your silk rabbit eyes or whatever that guy, I'm looking in your cold dead eye. What did he say? That guy said velveteen rabbit eyes to Sam Cedar, which later was Steven Crowder said that. And then later people were like, that's anti-Semitic. And I'm like, Steven Crowder might just be so bad at comedy that it turned around to being anti-Semitism. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about it. All right? It's been a tough year here in America. A lot of people have died. A lot of very successful people have died in the past 12 months. Charlie Kirk died, which is ironic because he was very pro-life. Yet, he got shot in the neck and died. Hypocrites? I think so. A lot of other people have died. Sydney Sweeney, dead. Passed away. R.I.P. Sydney. She died in November. And then her right tit. Nope, this all happened this year, Dougie Jones. This was all earlier this year. This all happened earlier this year. It was Valentine's Day, actually, that Charlie Kirk died. And, to some degree, it's Black History Month, so, appropriate. But Sydney Sweeney died. And then her breasts slowly decayed afterwards. Really unfortunate. Sydney Sweeney died the 1st of March and was unfuckable on the 12th of March. Very sad. Guys, perhaps the death that affects us all the most was, of course, how did Sydney Sweeney die again? That's a great question. So she, of course, was beheaded by Hamas. She flew over there and joined the IDF to fight and die for Israel. And Hamas took the head off. And then afterwards, someone explained the concept of getting head to them. They were confused about it. And they said, oh, we fucked up bad. We fucked up bad. But we're going to do a second take on that with Jenna Ortega. We can get her. Maybe the most tragic death of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Chuck Norris, as was his Christian name, has recently died. Chuck, we'll miss you. We'll miss you so much, Chuck. He died, of course, fucking Sydney Sweeney's corpse. He went over there, personally defeated Hamas. The war's over now. It's done. And he dug up Sydney Sweeney's corpse and he fucked it. Chuck Norris is famous for a number of things. That's true. The Grim Reaper's now battling Chuck, now like Gandalf in the Balrog. That's not funny, man. Okay, we don't do those kind of jokes here. All right, that's disrespectful. The man gave his life to finally end the war on the Gaza Strip. And he did it, and now everything's fine. Chuck Norris was an actor, a philanthropist, a singer. He sang the theme song to Walker, Texas Ranger. That's true. I'm not making that up. That's where a ranger is going to be. He also, of course, was the subject of a number of funny jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought I could read to you some of my favorite Chuck Norris facts. So sad. So dead. He's as dead as Chuck Norris can possibly be. 14%. Chuck Norris facts. First, when Chuck Norris arrived at the gates of heaven, St. Peter showed his ID to Chuck Norris. That's true, that happened. One time, Chuck Norris threw a grenade and killed 50 people. Then several more after the grenade exploded. Did you get it? The unexploded grenade killed. Some people say Chuck Norris cheated death, and that's not true. No. Chuck Norris won against death fair and square. People might not know this, but drafts were created when Chuck Norris uppercutted a horse. Kalima! Chuck Norris beat the sun in a staring contest. In a goddamn staring contest! Chuck Norris can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. It's true. Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience. How much longer can I do this bit? The answer, as long as I'd like. The stream's for me and me alone. Who gives a shit? If other people want to watch, that's good for them, but I'm doing this for me. Chuck Norris can hear sign language. There is no theory of evolution. Just a list of creatures Chuck Norris allows to live. Sad. He's left behind so many people. Left behind his wife, his children, his grandchildren. One guy he did gay stuff with one time in the 70s. That's right, John Travolta. You know this is true. Chuck Norris's dog is trained to pick up his own poop because Chuck Norris will not take shit from anyone. Never will. Chuck Norris plays Russian roulette with a fully loaded revolver and wins. Interesting fact, Chuck Norris can speak Braille. Chuck Norris has never dialed a wrong number, but occasionally people pick up the wrong phone. One time, many years ago, a cobra bit Chuck Norris's leg. And after 5 days of excruciating pain, finally, the cobra died. Chuck Norris's calendar goes straight from March 31st to April 2nd. Why? Because no one fools Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris can pick oranges from an apple tree and make the best lemonade you've ever tasted. Chuck Norris can strangle you with a cordless phone. MC Hammer learned the hard way that Chuck Norris can touch this. These aren't that good. You guys like this bit? Chuck Norris bits, Chuck Norris jokes, while the Schindler's List theme plays behind it. Is that good? Are we having fun? Couple more. Okay, a couple more than bits over. These aren't the best. This is chucknorrisfacts.net. Chuck Norris counted to infinity. Then he did it again. People might ask, what's Chuck Norris's blood type? The answer, AK-47. If you ever see Chuck Norris give you the finger, he's actually just telling you how many minutes you have left to live. Okay. Yeah. Guys, I have really crazy news. Chuck Norris, in fact, caught the coronavirus. Yeah, he currently has it chained up in his backyard. All right? All right. Okay, this one got me. The real reason Hitler killed himself is because he found out Chuck Norris is Jewish. Chuck Norris doesn't have good aim. His bullets just know better than to miss. Chuck Norris once unscrambled an egg. Yeah. Chuck Norris will never have a heart attack. Even a heart isn't foolish enough to attack Chuck Norris. Okay, maybe enough of this. All right, maybe enough of this. Maybe we're good. Mistakes learned from Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris can delete the recycling bin. What if I show you guys what I'm looking at right now? There we go. Shitty AI photos of Chuck Norris. Do you guys have any actual opinion or connection to Chuck Norris at all? Do you guys, because I'm older than everybody on Earth, as it turns out. I'm actually the oldest human who's ever lived. Did anybody watch Walker, Texas Ranger? It was a show they would air on Saturday nights on, whatever channel Christian kids would watch in between getting molested. And it was bad. It was not good. It was not fun. He would fight different people. He was a Texas Ranger, and every episode would be like, oh no, someone's smuggling drugs out of Austin or something. It sucked. It wasn't good. But it did have a pretty good theme song. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Walker, Texas Ranger is a real grandma's house kind of fucking program.
In the eyes of a ranger, the unsuspecting stranger had better know the truth of wrong from right.
Also, earlier I said he sang this theme song. No, he speaks it. Yeah, his partner would be kidnapped. He'd be like, no, it's personal. He had a black partner on the show to signify that two things. To be like, A, Chuck Norris is cool with black people, and B, black people are allowed in Texas. Both of which were not true in the 90s at all. There he is right there.
'Cause the eyes of the ranger are upon you.
Okay, I take it back. He's singing now.
Any wrong you do, he's gonna see.
Noble Willingham. Why am I
When
getting these
you're in
fucking
Texas,
ads
look
that are really
behind you. 'Cause that's where the ranger's gonna be.
They did 10 seasons of this shit. It was wild. He was in some movies too, Missing in Action, stuff like that. We love him. We love Chuck Norris. Now, why am I slowing down? All right, let's do this. Chuck Norris, Walker, Texas Ranger. I think there's a fight scene we can watch or something. The point is, listen. He also was very MAGA late in life, apparently.
In the
Yeah, we already
eyes
watched
of a
this.
ranger, the unsuspecting stranger
Stranger. Oh, here's a pretty good fight scene.
had better know the truth.
Let her know the truth of wrong and right. This you kids. I don't like this is called Little Saigon Imports. That feels charged to me, racially. You kids don't know. You can watch whatever you want now. Pull up YouTube. Back in the day, you just would watch what was on TV. You guys have no fucking idea. When I was a kid, people would be like, oh, they're watching too much TV. They're only, taking breaks for several hours at a time to go outside. Nowadays, everyone's just staring into a little rectangle and not fucking. Children need to fuck. That came out wrong. I take it back. I'm Volcel now. Let's watch this fight scene.
Trời ơi, có nhỏ ca sĩ gì bên đó mới qua. Xin lỗi.
Jack strangers! Thằng ấy ra!
Oh shit. That rocks. A guy's just trying to do like a spinning kick, and Chuck Norris not even moving that much. We are looking at goatee era Steven Seagal levels of not giving a shit. Not quite that bad, because at least Chuck Norris is standing up here. In a Steven Seagal scene, he is not leaving the office chair he's in. And also the racial politics are even more confusing. And you're like, I'm sure this is the most racist thing I've ever seen, but I'm not exactly sure how. By the way, without the slow motion, I think each episode of Walker, Texas Ranger would have been like 16 minutes. Like, we got to pad out the time. We got to sell advertisements for rolled gold pretzels and Bibles. So let's get this thing going, Charles.
Any wrong you do, he's gonna see. When you're in Texas, look behind you, 'cause that's where the Ranger's gonna be.
Anyway, Chuck Norris, extremely dead, ladies and gentlemen, passed away. Rest in peace to Charles. People don't know this, Hussein Norris. That was his middle name, Charles Hussein Norris. Yeah. Rest in peace. Guys, we got a lot of stuff we need to talk about. Now, I have often spoke on this live stream about how everything is fine, no one needs to worry, and actually the Democrats are cool. So chill. Don't worry about it. JK, everything's on fire, everyone's dying, things are bad, I'm drinking, I don't give a shit. But I've often said, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that can save society is if people start going to the movies again. People stopped going to the movies, and everything fell to shit. And you know something? I am at least 50% serious about this prescription for the modern world. People stopped going to the movies and started staying indoors, watching Netflix. They started meeting less people. You weren't going to giant cultural events. You remember back in the day, you went to go see a classic film, a great piece of cinema, like Transformers 9 or Rocky 9 or Dude, Where's My Car 8. You'd go see a picture like that. You'd get some popcorn. You'd be constipated for a day or two. Then you'd take one of the biggest shits of your life a couple days later. Wash, rinse, repeat every Saturday night. Maybe you took a lady to the movie. Maybe you're at the movies with a girl and you started making out during American Beauty and you tried to finger her and she was like, no, I'm watching Kevin Spacey. Maybe that's a real story from your life, actually. People used to go to the movies. Nowadays, it's only the big event films people go out for. Your Barbenheimers, your Top Gun Mavericks, your Zootopia 2, your whatever fucking insane propaganda film China's putting out. I think last year, 2025, the highest grossing film worldwide, and I could be wrong about this, and if I am, do not correct me. I don't care. I think the highest grossing film in the world was Ninja 2, which is a Chinese film based on the poster. I think it's about a small child with a bow staff who learns the power of collectivism and of building solar farms, I think. I'm not really sure. I think she fights demons or something. It was huge. China loved this shit. China loves to go to the movies. Now, the Chinese government isn't always great about letting movies in. Do you know one of the reasons there was not a sequel to World War Z, the Brad Pitt movie? Did pretty good in theaters, made money, but they didn't make a sequel because they would not have been able to release it in China because China does not let movies about zombies come in. They think it's disrespectful to their ancestors or something. I don't know. But guess what, guys? The movies are back, ladies and gentlemen. The Oscars were on Sunday. Anyone watch the Oscars out there? How'd you guys feel about the Oscars? Best Picture went to one battle after another. All right? Which is, better than the sequel. One battle and that's it. That was the preview. One battle after another was the sequel. The original was one battle and we stop at that because we're fine. I thought that was good. I don't need you fucking people. That one, Best Picture. Best Actor was Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, a movie about how white people are vampires, which is true. As an English person, Sinners was tough for me because my ancestors were in England, and first they enslaved Irish people because we just enslaved the first people we saw, which were other white people. That's how goddamn racist my ancestors were. They were like, you are 0.06% less pale than me. You're working the fields, asshole. Then my ancestors came to America, where they owned a bunch of slaves, and then started the Ku Klux Klan in Indiana. That might be true. It might be true, and maybe we don't tell anybody that. Maybe it's super racist. So the film was about an Irish vampire who's like, I remember, this is the accent he did. It was really authentic. I remember when people came to me father's land and took me father's religion. He's talking about the English, I guess like the Holy Roman Empire coming in to, which, Holy Roman Empire being, it's complicated. But the Holy Roman Empire coming in and getting rid of all the pagans and druids and shit on the Irish Isles, which was several thousand years ago. So this guy's old as shit. And then he tries to vampirize a bunch of blacks. And, including Medea. That's just racist. Not beating the allegations. The vampires, I'm going to spoil the movie Sinners. If you haven't seen the movie Sinners, I would say go watch Sinners. It's a pretty damn good movie. Not that great. But I think it was like the biggest cultural sensation of last year. Not the biggest box office hit necessarily, but I think especially with streaming, it was a blockbuster in the way movies are blockbusters now, where it made a decent amount of money in theaters. It did fine. People made money, but on streaming, it blew up even more. So I'm going to spoil the ending of it. Get ready. All right. It turns out at the end, Bruce Willis was dead the whole movie. Oh, hell no. No, at the end of the movie, they kill all the vampires. But then Michael B. Jordan knows through it's not important. He knows the Klan is coming. So the one, because there's two Michael B. Jordans, and one of them gets vampirized. And so the human Michael B. Jordan just gets a big fucking machine gun and just mows down a bunch of Klan members. And then, and then he has it's actually a pretty touching scene. He has a vision of his wife, Wumi Masaku, or whatever her name is, and their son in the other world. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go, pass along. And then he dies. And so watching the movie, I was like, well, shit, now this is about my people who are all Klan. The meme for the movie goes, y'all Klan? I would go, these people are. I don't know them. They all died because they were poor. It was a good mix of Klan and John Birch Society people. Which you ever look it up, that's here's a good way to put it. The particular brand of being a Republican that Alex Jones is? How, ultimately he's just a Republican. They're all just Republicans. It's nothing. They all want to pretend to be fucking iconoclast, moderate centrist. We're rebelling against the system. Blah, all that bullshit. They're all just Republicans. That's all the fucking same shit. But the kind of Republican that he is specifically, okay, that is a John Bircher. A Bircher, as they say, a John Birch Society guy. And so that was my parents growing up. And it made me watching Sinners a little weird. I don't know. I know I like Sinners. It's a pretty good movie. Has some script problems, I think. It takes too long. And then it takes too long to come. But when it does, it's spraying everywhere. Also, too much pussy eating. Clearly, the director, Ryan Coogler, made the movie to be like, yeah, I eat pussy. What about it? What fucking about it, dude? I played football in college. What else won? K-Pop Demon Hunters won Best Animated Feature and Best Demon Hunting. I think was a good award to give it. Second place in that category was, of course, Hamnet. People might not know. Jessie Buckley won Best Actress for Hamlet. It's one of those performances where she's crying a lot. She plays William Shakespeare's wife. In the movie, Agnes Hathaway. In real life, Anne Hathaway. Which I think they changed because they realized it would be confusing to everybody because there's already an actress named Anne Hathaway who was at the Oscars and should have presented her Oscar. Now, you see, I did see Hamnet. My review of Hamnet is that I fell asleep. I went to go see Hamnet in a movie theater. I was back in Champaign. I was visiting my parents. It was like maybe the first weekend in January, actually. It was early in the year because it was very cold outside. And, my brother-in-law and my dad. And then, because we went back down, my cousin's having like a baby shower. And so my sister and my girlfriend went to the baby shower. And I was hanging out with the fellas. And I was like, hey guys, let's go hang out. We'll go to a sports bar and have a drink and we'll watch something, whatever. And my dad and my brother-in-law were like, sure. And then I turn around and they both just passed out and took a nap. So I was like, I guess I got a day free. I'll go to the movies. So I saw Primate, which is the movie that my Letterboxd review, which really does sum it up. This movie is 88 minutes, which really, it's 88 minutes and there's padding in it. It stars Troy Kotsur, the deaf guy who won an Oscar for the film Coda, which won Best Picture. You haven't seen it. Probably haven't heard of it. It's not very good. It's fine. It's charming. It's cute. But he's deaf, and so he did the whole movie in listen, all right? Doing the deaf voice, hello, how's it going? It is very funny, and I support it. But next level, mocking them with sign language. That is advanced. That's the most offensive thing I've ever done. He was in the film Coda. He won an Oscar. He didn't have the career bump you might have thought. He does have one big disability in acting, which is that he can't say words. He literally can't speak. That gets in the way of your career as a professional actor generally. But he pulled it off. But he's in this movie, and he's the owner of an ape who, it's weirdly shoehorned in. Like, his wife was studying sign language or some shit. And then, so she had an ape, and then the ape gets rabies or something. And so the movie Primate, which is going to be on streaming, I found it largely dull. It didn't do a huge amount for me. There's a couple of cool scenes where an ape, rips a guy's jaw off. There's, this frat boy who comes over to fuck, and the ape gets him and, takes his head and, rips it in two. And it's a pretty good, practical makeup effect. That was pretty fucking cool. There was a couple good kills, but overall I thought it didn't go crazy in the way I'd like nearly as quickly as I would like. And then I saw Hamnet, and maybe it's because I was tired because I had woken up early and driven down to Champaign, Illinois from Chicago, Illinois, just a couple hours away. Maybe because I was tired, I fell asleep in the theater watching Hamnet. But then I did wake up and get to the end of it. Hamnet's a good movie. I don't think it's, it's not my favorite of the year. I don't think I'm ever going to watch it again. The movie with the gorilla was called Primate. It was not a gorilla. Okay, that's disrespectful. It also might have been a gorilla. I think it was a chimpanzee or something like that. It was called Primate. Yeah, they ripped some, I don't know. Check out Primate and skip through the first 30 minutes. It's pretty boring. But, there's a couple of... Primate, look up a YouTube video of the best kills in the movie Primate. And I think that's the ideal way to experience that film. Maybe it's good. Maybe Primate's good. I liked all the part where the gorilla was murdering people. And again, it's 88 minutes. So, it gets in and out. But even so, it takes longer than I'd care for to actually, build up. And maybe my attention span's just been completely fucked and I don't know where I am right now. That's also possible. Then I saw Hamnet. And I liked Hamnet. I didn't think it was great. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. But Jessie Buckley is good. Jessie Buckley is giving an Oscar-y performance, quote unquote, but it's a good one. There's a lot, like the end scene where, she goes to a performance of her husband, William Shakespeare's play Hamlet, in the movie seemingly dedicated to their dead son, Hamnet. Get it? I saw Dune 2. I think the first one was better. Did you see the Dune 3 trailer? Because guess what? You're fucking about to. We're going to play that right here. Because I'm so fucking into it. Timothée Chalamet, by the way, lost the Oscar. Oh, we got to watch me do this. Okay. Cute. Timothée Chalamet lost the Oscar on Sunday to Michael B. Jordan, who, and I'm not making this up, has a father named Michael A. Jordan. Good one. Also crazy that Michael B. Jordan, one of the biggest movie stars in the world, has an Academy Award, has been in multiple films that have made hundreds of millions of dollars. Very famous guy. Undeniably the second most famous person named Michael Jordan. Michael C. Jordan, I'm telling you, when he answers my phone calls, that's when. Michael. Get my butt pregnant. Finally. Yes, Timothée Chalamet lost the Oscar. I think because, people have all this, said bullshit about ballet and opera. He was doing an interview with Matthew McConaughey. Why? Fuck you. That's why. Why? Stop asking questions. Fuck off. That's why those two human beings were talking to each other. Actually, Timmy did play his son. People don't forget this. Timmy is in the movie Interstellar, one of his first credits, if not his very first, where he plays Matthew McConaughey's little son, who grows up to be Casey Affleck. Casey Affleck? Take two. Timothée Chalamet is in the film Interstellar, directed by Christopher Nolan, where he plays Matthew McConaughey's son, who eventually grows up to be Casey Affleck. Let me tell you something that I definitely feel about the film Interstellar. Casey Affleck is in the film, and many, in fact, are saying... I could have had... The timing of that joke really was no good, because I had to find the beep noise on here. I should have that close. God, this beep noise. Sometimes I feel like it's just a real... was actually saying slurs just out loud in my room. It's very fun for me to do that. What were we going to fucking look up here? Oh, yeah, the Dune 3 trailer. The day after Timmy lost, they unveiled the Dune 3 trailer to be like, well, he's got this at least. All right. We're watching this, and we're going to shut the absolute fuck up and just watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I am seated. I'm wanting this film to be put in my goddamn veins.
If we have a girl, what will we name her?
Her name should be Ganima. She would need to be strong, like her mother. What if it's a boy?
I would name him Leto. So he would have the wisdom of his grandfather.
Here's the one thing, though. Timmy Chalamet, Zendaya, they have a baby. Good chance that baby is just white. That baby comes out and just completely passes for white, all right? Because Zendaya is like at most 50% black. And Timothée Chalamet is somehow 120% white. is because his mom is French, easily the most white of all the whites, largely due to their love of butter and duck fat.
War feeds on itself. The more I fight, the more our enemies fight back.
Oh, we got fucking R-Pats up in this shit. It's popping off.
I'm doing the best I can to protect my family. How did Father do it?
Your father never started a war.
I'm not afraid to die. But I must not die. Yet.
Donk Part 3, baby. We're doing it. Listen, here's what I wanted to share with you guys, and I got it right here. According to the IndieWire, a very reputable publication, I think, I don't know, Gen Z went to movie theaters most often in 2025. According to a new exhibition report, everything is going to be okay. I know you're worried about gas prices and a recession and World War III and your dick is small and maybe you're feeling a little numbness in your left arm, but you're not going to go to a doctor. Could you imagine the bill? Come on. You might be worried, but you don't need to be. America is back. The world is back. Kids are going to the goddamn movies. Gen Z went to movie theaters most often in 2025, according to new exhibition report. This is by Ryan Latanzio. So, degenerately ethnic name, don't get me wrong. But an important story for our times. This is from December of 2025. Who says Gen Z audiences would rather watch movies at home? I like articles that start responding to accusations that I didn't know I was making. Hey, who says that? I didn't know we were fighting about that, but I don't know. Cinema United, the world's largest exhibition trade association, on Wednesday released the 2025 update to its annual Strength of Theatrical Exhibition report, which analyzes industry metrics beyond mere box office numbers. That's the thing. People get worried about the box office, about movies, movie theaters, where are they going? Where are they going? Motherfucker, we lived through 2020. Movie theaters survived the COVID pandemic. The biggest movie we had in that time was Tenet, which almost luckily got released during COVID, because I think if it had come out any other time, everyone would have gone, this is easily Christopher Nolan's most fucking inscrutable movie. I like Tenet. I have it in a 4K Blu-ray right over there. I'm a fan of that movie. It's not easy. It's a weird one. It's Nolan fucking around and having a lot of fun. We survived 2020. I want to see the 2020 Strength of Theatrical Exhibition report. You're probably not seeing any like normal words on that. It's just hieroglyphics glowing red. That was their report for that year. Takeaways from the report, which is available via Cinema United's website, will not be going there, includes how theaters are building loyalty through innovation and diverse films. By diverse films, they of course mean the Big Mama's House series, which they will be showing in all Regals. But it also, most notably, shares that Gen Z moviegoer attendance grew by 25% over the last 12 months, the highest increase of any age group. 25, that's a lot. Gen Z is going to the goddamn movies. Why? Because everyone rebels against the generation behind them. That's why millennials, us rebelling against Gen X was like, who even fucking like cares? Like, who even gives a shit? The big Gen X concern around the mid-90s was like, fuck, dude, what if I like accidentally stumble and end up in a steady, secure office job that pays all my bills and gives me health insurance and I retire from it? Fuck, dude, what if that happens? Shit. So instead, millennials seeing this like jaded, I don't give a shit, Gen X poser stuff, we were like, no, all our music has to be stomp clap. And we believe in Obama and hope and change. Hope and change can be here. We're all bisexual. Because we kissed a guy one time in college and we didn't like it. No. Now Gen Z, but then also millennials, this is the important thing. Millennials were like, I don't want to go out anywhere. I went out. So we're all still recovering from the hangover after Obama's 2008 election. That was big. We drank a lot that night, and it was just, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? And they saw us just stay home and order DoorDash and binge watch. And so Gen Z decided a couple things. Gen Z decided we will get horny, but only if it's at least a little bit gay. All right? The Gen Z erotic drama challengers. It's got to be at least a little bit gay. They also decided, hey, what if our entire aesthetic was being ugly as a bit? What if everything looked like shit as a joke? And it's a good joke. It's getting me. And then C-Day decided, let's go to the frickin' movies, guys. Weekend box office is important, but a more accurate measure is looking at the industry on an annual basis and considering a myriad other factors in the marketplace to get a more complete picture of the strength of the industry, said Michael O'Leary, president and CEO of Cinema United, in an official statement. 2025 is a perfect example of a year where an inconsistent box office threatens to overshadow other variables that point to a bright future for movies on the big screen. By the way, this guy says like inconsistent box office, and sure, you know, some shit didn't do as well as people would like. The Marvel stuff is not making $1 billion every time anymore. You release something people like, it'll make a little bit of money, but the guarantee isn't there. But you have other things like Avatar. The third Avatar movie came out, was pretty good, made $1.5 billion. You heard that right. $1 billion. Start with $1 billion. That's one followed by 9 zeros. That's what it made. Then it made $500 million. That is $500 million. That's how much money Avatar made. And it was considered a box office disappointment. Just because the other ones had made like $2 billion, $3 billion. Hollywood needs to get their fucking shit together. People will say like, oh, box office disappointments. Here's how the industry worked for years, all right? And people forgot about this because all these Marvel movies destroyed people's fucking brains, and it became like, unless you make $1 billion in Des Moines, Iowa on the first weekend, fucking kill yourself. Your movie's done. People got used to these China numbers, with China going out to the movies. They got too big with it, and now they're like, it's a box office disappointment. Here's how the movie business has worked since time immemorial. You release a movie, maybe you spend, let's say something like Avatar, a big expensive movie, you spend $300 million on it. Then you spend another $300 million on marketing this goddamn thing. Okay? You're $600 million in the hole. Every ticket purchased at a movie theater, you get half of it. Now, it's a little more complicated because there'll be deals worked out where like the first week in the studio gets 70, 80% of the box office receipts, sometimes 90, sometimes fucking more. And then like, oh, sorry, am I freezing up for you guys? I don't know. If I am, fuck you. I don't give a shit. First weekend, first 2 weekends, whatever it is, depends on the deal. It's different ones for different movies, different studios, et cetera, et cetera. But generally speaking, it'll average out to about, back of the napkin math, you're making about half of the money a movie makes in theaters. Then also, you make less in foreign market, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? So, the quick, again, back of the napkin math is largely bullshit, but good enough for our purposes, is you need to make at the box office twice as much as your movie cost. Okay? So, you're all in for $600 million on your movie. You'd need to make $1,200 million, which is $1.2 billion. Again, that's a lot of money. Avatar crested that. It made a little bit of profit in theaters. That's gravy. Every year you'll get a couple big hits in a theater, and that'll make up for some of the losses of other movies in the theatrical exhibition. But guess what? You know what Disney made a lot of money off of this year? Avatar, the first one, and the second one. You know what Warner Brothers made a lot of money off of? Fucking Casablanca. Okay? You know what Paramount made a lot of money out of? That's right, Chinatown, directed by a child rapist who's happy now. Point is, the movie business is a long-term thing. Theatrical exhibition will hopefully make you a profit, at least a little bit, or at least break even, by and large. But then you're making all your fucking money year after year through auxiliary markets. And it's not as good as it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago when you had, 50, 60 years ago, whatever it was, you would re-release movies if they were big hits and you make more money in theaters. But, you had TV rights you would sell. You had, like, the golden age of Hollywood has been talked about by a lot of people, and it's true. The golden age was the 2000s, really, because that's when the DVD market blew up. And consequently, you were making almost as much money every single year off of just DVDs as you did off the first theatrical run of the movie, And streaming ain't nothing. You make nice money off streaming, licensing your content to various places. Even some people, first off, still buy Blu-rays and shit. I do. It's actually a growing market. More people are into physical media because it can't get snatched from you at any time. But movies make money in the long term. So all this stuff about Avatar only made $1.5 billion. It's going to keep making money, especially now they got 3 of them and can do a trilogy, quote unquote, or whatever. Keep reading. Other findings found that 77% of Americans, more than 200 million, saw at least one movie in the theaters, and that the number of habitual moviegoers who see 6 movies or more a year was up by 8% compared to 2024. I like that habitual is 6 movies in a year. I have cracked that in a weekend before. I'm going to go see 2 movies tomorrow, I'm thinking. I'm going to go see Project Hail Mary, and I'm going to go see Ready or Not 2. I'm looking forward to both those movies. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to get some popcorn. I'm on the AMC A-list, baby. They talk about this a little bit now. Cinema loyalty programs in North America, I think AMC A-list, Cinemark Movie Club, Regal Crown Club, saw a 15% jump in new subscriptions year after year. So with AMC A-list, I pay, I think it's like $30 a month, something like that. Maybe it's like less than that. I could look it up. I don't give a shit. Regardless, I pay that amount and I get 4 movie tickets a week, basically. I'm also a member at the Music Box in Chicago, which is like a really cool indie theater. Probably my favorite indie theater in Chicago is the Logan Theater, which I love, 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 love. I go to movie trivia there every Tuesday. If you're ever in Chicago and you want to come up and say hi, first off, don't do that. JK, come do it. I'll say hi. I'll hug you. I'm at the Logan Theater movie trivia every Tuesday. Come by. Hang out. But AMC is good. I fuck with all that. And since it was my birthday months in March, I get free popcorn. Similarly, the number of wide releases is up year after year from 94 in 2024 and 111 in 2025. A projected 115 movies in 2026. Yeah, what's even crazier is all of them are sequels to Crazy Rich Asians. People don't know that. Gen Z audience, meanwhile, average 6.1 visits a year, up from 4.9. What that means is they do 6.1 visits. They go see 6 movies. and then the credits for a 7th, and then just get out of the theater. That's how you see 6.1 movies. The report also underlines what Gen Z is most seeking out in terms of their experience, with immersive moviegoing and unique concessions as the highest. You fucking Gen Z, you fucking weirdos. You want unique concessions? Bitch, we have popcorn. We have soda. You want to go crazy? Get a hot dog. I'm a purist about that shit. I don't want to say I don't like the Alamo Drafthouse. I go to the Alamo Drafthouse, all right? No disrespect. They're having their fun. But I'm kind of like, give me popcorn, give me soda. A dinner and a movie are separate things. You don't need to combine them into one. I don't know. I don't actually have a good logic-based argument for my issue with such things. I'm just sort of, I don't know, cranky, one might say. Just making sure I'm still here. Yeah, movie going's happening, man. Kids are going to the goddamn movies. What do we think about that? Is that going to save society? What do we think? I think so. All right, that's a clip. I got some other stuff I want to talk about. This is something I will sometimes do in my, I want to say private life, which is a weird way to say it, but just in my human life when I'm just walking around. I will often find myself. I just got a ring notification. Oh, it's making me laugh. Neighborhood alert near Chicago. Dog found inside laundromat. That's the thing happening. There's a dog in a goddamn laundromat. Anyway, checking my phone now. I literally don't care. All right. Second one. I'm going to do at least one more bit. Okay? At least one more bit, then I'm going to get out of here. You guys can even tell me what's going on. I don't care about this. I got 2 bits in front of me. Okay? You can tell me. Neighborhood alert near Chicago. Any stray cats in the area that need feeding? That's weird. That's very sad to me. Oh, here's a picture of the dog inside the laundromat. That's pretty cute. Dog found, white with brown spots. I don't know. Anyway, what do you guys want to hear? You want to hear me do PBD, Patrick Bet David, on that Joe Kent guy? The whole PBD crew, Vinny, Adam, the real heads know the best is Tom. Tom's the fucking winner. We can watch that on the Joe Kent thing. Or this guy, Professor Zhang. The internet's obsessed with this guy. I want to talk about him. I think just the internet had a Jordan Peterson-shaped hole in it and needed someone to fill it. So I think it's that guy. Listen, we can flip a coin. All right, we'll flip a coin here. Okay? We'll flip a coin. Heads is going to be Patrick Bet David. Which, you know, a downside to doing that video is any impression of him is going to get me canceled. You can't do an impression of that guy without going super fucking racist with it. All right? But that's going to be heads. All right? Because he's the head of the operation. It only makes sense. And then tails is going to be that Professor Zhang guy because he is, of course, Korean. But anyway, we got Google. What's the Google Doodle today? 0-0. What is this? Women's March. Oh, no one gives a fuck about women's basketball. That's a good game. 49-82. Damn, we're having fun. All right, flip a coin. I'm preparing to flip. Well, flip or don't, man. It's flipping. Oh, heads. All right, guys, we're watching Patty Bet. You guys familiar with the Patrick Bet David program? He is a scam artist who's from Iran, which he probably doesn't want to mention.
What new things have formulated with Joe Kent?
Exactly.
Is that okay? Let me read that one and we'll get into it. We'll open it up. Trump counterintelligence chief who resigned over U.S. over war in Iran under investigation for leaking.
So the thing about Patrick Bet David, right? Now, I think a lot of people on the internet misuse the term spiritually Israeli. I don't like it. It borders on anti-Semitism in a way that, you know, none of the leftists want to hear it because Israel is their biggest enemy. And I get it. I'm not sitting here, you know, running interference with Israel. Israel's not fucking great. Don't get me wrong. But the level of obsession, and more importantly, the language people use about it, does start to venture on the... Be careful, is all I'm saying, okay? I know people would be like, well, you're fucking language policing, and you're right. You're right. I don't like doing that language policing shit. I don't like doing that when people are like, oh, well, why are you saying this? Your message is bad. It'll scare away normies. I'm like, I don't give a shit about optics cucking bullshit. But with the Jews, you got to be careful, all right? That's the one. Because that shit, you're just like one or two, ethnic voices away from just doing the Holocaust. Be careful is all I'm saying. So I don't like the term spiritually Israeli. That being said, perhaps no human on earth is more spiritually Israeli than Patrick Bet David. First off, his name is Bet David. That's an incredibly Israeli name. All right? Secondly, he is a con artist. He ran a, multi-level marketing scheme. PHP, I don't know what it was. He claimed it was an insurance company, but what it seemed to be was selling insurance licenses to people. It seems like the real thing was getting people and then selling them a bunch of courses and then a license so that they could sell insurance, and then they still had to kick. So they paid for all their own training, they paid for all their own certification, and then they had to kick up a little bit of the money that they would make. And so the vast majority of people didn't make any fucking money because they were just idiots and they were being lied to by this guy. And I honestly think it's really despicable and disgusting to like prey on desperate people like that. Kind of honestly, fuck you. Not even as a joke. Like, and you run this right-wing show and you fucking lie to people and you destroy discourse. And maybe that's worse on a macro level, what people like him are doing. But like, it really gets me personally, this trying to find desperate people and ripping them off. So anyway, he made a lot of money off of doing that. And then he started a podcast, the PBD podcast, which of course stands for peanut butter. Damn! And on the podcast, he chats with some other people about the issues of the day. And like everyone on YouTube who has a podcast, he is strangely enough not a Republican and he's not MAGA. He supports Donald Trump. He loves Donald Trump. He is Republican. He is MAGA, but he's not like Republican or MAGA. Don't say that about him, okay? He's just an independent thinker who looks at the information in front of him and comes to a conclusion. And the conclusion is that Republicans are always right all the time. That's, just what he comes to.
Okay, so we have a bunch of things on this. So guys, be ready because I'm going to come to you. And Vinny, I'm probably coming to you first, okay? What page is that, Rob?
Vinny.
Page 16. It doesn't match page 16, Rob, the story. So if you're...
page 15, Trump counterintelligence.
Oh, okay.
Chief.
So let me go to page 15. So
another thing I like about this show and all of these grifters like this is they don't give a shit about what they're putting out, so they don't put a lot of work into it. The quote-unquote producer, I don't know, what was that guy's name? I didn't catch it. The producer just gives him the wrong page, and then they could edit this out. This could not be in the video. They don't give a fuck at all. Patrick Bet David doesn't give a shit about, he's running this grift channel promoting like an explicitly white nationalist group. He doesn't give a fuck about any ideals. He doesn't care. He just wants to sell you. He is easily the most just like viscerally scummy person on earth. He is an entire used car dealership somehow made into one man. Not a used car dealer. The whole dealership. He is the cars. He is the bathrooms where they do cocaine. He just is that aura. That is his personification.
Former counterintelligence chief who resigned over the ongoing conflict with Iran is reportedly under investigation at FBI. Joe Kent, who issued a scathing letter of the resignation, National Counterterrorism, has been accused of improperly sharing classified information according to Semper. The probe into his alleged misconduct has been ongoing for months and predates his resignations from the intelligence agency. This is Daily Mail. The shocking development comes just hours after Kent told Tucker that the U.S. was providing faulty intelligence from Israel about the war. White House officials suggested Tuesday that Kent was an egomaniac who was responsible for national security leaks. Kent said in his post on X that he could not in good conscience, we read that. Iran posed no imminent threat, we read that. It marks the first major and voluntary departure of senior Trump administration officials since he retook office last year. So, Vinny.
So a couple things here. First off, again, the level of not giving a shit is honestly impressive. We should all strive to put in that little effort at our jobs. This guy has a lot of money. He has a very nice set, but they didn't bother to buy teleprompters. They're just printing stuff out, and he's just kind of reading it poorly. Hasn't read this before, doesn't know how to pronounce a number of the words in it. Doesn't give a fuck. They could edit this. They could speed this up. They could do any number of things. They do not give a shit. By the way, this has 7.14 million subscribers, this channel. 7.14 million. Now, to be fair, those are largely bots. This does have 51,205 views in the past 7 hours. Even if we accept half of those to be true, 25,000 people, slightly more, like 26,000 people roughly, watched this fucking video. God damn, dude.
Vinny, I'll come to you first.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen.
So first we go to Vinny. Vinny's my guy. Because know how I said all of these people are grifters? To some degree, they all are grifters. Vinny definitely is aware of the shtick and everything, you know, whatever. He is actually mentally ill, though, I think. I don't know what it is. I think he's both mentally ill, and I think he has that unique combination of being both under and over medicated. We call it Miami sober, which is where you're on all of the drugs except all the ones you actually need. Whatever would balance the various chemicals in your brain, that's gay. So Vinny yells. He looks kind of pale right here, but sometimes he gets so mad that all of the blood in his body rushes into his head, and he very briefly resembles some sort of Persian tomato. Which, put that on some couscous. You got a meal, baby. Let's see what Vinny has to say about Joe Kent. Remember him? The guy who recently jumped out of the Trump administration and said, I'm no longer going to be involved in this thing. I forget what he did. He was the secretary of bringing Diet Coke to Donald Trump. I don't know. He had some fucking job. And he quit and said Donald Trump is being manipulated by Israel. If you read his letter, it's very funny because he kisses Donald Trump's ass the whole time. He cannot stop just throating that weird mushroom penis of Donald Trump's and says, you, sir, easily like the bravest, smartest man of all time. It's unfortunate that you were given faulty information by Israel that has forced you to invade Iran. I threw a rock in Iran. The question is, why did this guy quit? Well, my theory, some people will say, well, he just, had an ideological, he was ideologically opposed to war. And I don't think anyone in the Trump administration has ideology. Because I think that if you are a Trump supporter, you are either mentally ill to the point of having some kind of Down syndrome-based psychosis, such as Vinny right here, or you're a grifter, you're lying, and you know you're lying, and you know you're talking shit to everybody. Like Patrick Bet-David, and to some degree, Vinny. So, I don't think this guy's that because, he was able to get up and walk and talk and go to cabinet meetings. So it tells me he's in the grifter category. I think what's going on is it's rats on a sinking ship. They know Trump is going down. Not American fascism, not the Republican Party, the two things that are actually the problem. Donald Trump, if anything, is one of the better fascists we could have fucking got due to his stupidity and his narcissism. Donald Trump cares about nothing but Donald Trump. People often get confused about that. People think Donald Trump's a white supremacist. Donald Trump is only a white supremacist in that he's white. He views all other people who are also white as beneath him, and he hates them. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know what's going on with the Joe Kent thing exactly. Part of it, he goes on Tucker afterwards, and what I was talking about, having a conversation around Israel is very complicated because, and this might be a little controversial, I think a lot of people on the left and a lot of people on the right, I'm a both sides moderate centrist on this, are a little too crazy about Israel and, over-amplify Israel's influence on the world at large. I think that in the case of left-wingers, it's because of Israel, American support for Israel militarily. And on the right, it's because they're all Nazis. Now, let me establish something here. I do think people overstress it. That is not to say that Israel does not have overdue influence on United States politics. Of course, they absolutely fucking do. Is the war with Iran on behalf of Israel? Probably. Seems like the kind of thing they would do. Some people are like, oh, Israel has, damaging photos of Donald Trump, video of him fucking a kid or whatever, and they're blackmailing him. Maybe. I'm not saying that's impossible, but it also seems to me like you don't need to blackmail Donald Trump. You just say nice things about him and he'll do whatever the fuck you want. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't know where Iran is. He thinks they're fucking bombing Queens. He's happy. Queens, where he's from. It's not important. So I think Israel does have an undue influence. We saw in the New York City mayoral election when all the candidates were asked, where are you going to go after you become mayor? And they all fucking go Israel. I'm definitely going to Israel. I'm going to kiss that wall. I love Israel. L'chaim. Love it all. I'm going to be, doing the whole thing, listening to Bob Dylan and watching Woody Allen movies. I love it. L'chaim. Did I already say that? Gewalt. Again, you got to be careful with the anti-Semitism. They asked all the people in the New York City mayoral election then. They all said Israel. And then Zohar Mamdani goes, I don't know. I think I might stay in New York. That is the city I'm mayor of. And then the person asking him just got mad that he didn't take the bait. And they just go, do you think Israel has the right to exist? What a weird fucking question. What do you mean a country has that's not how things work. No one has a right to exist. I personally would not like to see the death of every Israeli person in fucking Tel Aviv being turned to glass. I think that might be controversial, maybe on both sides of the fucking political aisle. I don't, but I think that the thing that people will forget is the history of this conflict, which is long. Okay? I don't like what Israel's doing right now. I don't like what Israel's doing to Hamas right now. I don't like the genocide Israel's doing in Gaza, and I do think it's a genocide in intention, if not in execution, at least. But the thing you got to remember is that, this is fucking spanning back millennia, man. This didn't start on October 7th, and certainly the people of Palestine elected Hamas as a government. And Hamas is an openly, virulently, genocidally anti-Semitic group. They would like to kill every Jew, okay? They don't have the power to do so because we don't give them weapons, which is why I don't like to say good guy or bad guy, but I have more sympathy with their side, if only because of the power imbalance involved. I think a lot of lefties online think about things exclusively through power imbalance. And I understand that, and I relate to that, and I do think ultimately that is the most important thing. But it often removes a lot of agency. It's often a historical. And so I think that if you go into a discussion on Israel and Palestine, on the war in Gaza, solely from a perspective of who has power over another, you're overall, I think, getting the right message, but you're missing a lot of important details. There. I established it for you. Let's see what Vinny has to say.
Again, I saw Joe Kent's face maybe 3 months ago one time, never knew who he was, didn't do, because, he was never in the news. So then when you do some research, obviously, Tom, what was it, 11 tours?
Okay, one thing real quick, closer. You see a little thing that popped up? Menect, get expert advice instantly. Menect appears to be a sort of cameo for right-wing grifters. It's a website Patrick Bet-David started, and you go on there, and for $40,000, I think is literally how much money it is. It's a fucking lot of money to have a Menect call with these people, or text message them or whatever. But for whatever, $200, $300, $400, you can get a 1 minute long video from Vinny Oshana where he tells you how to be an alpha male or whatever. So Manect. It's a great company. Definitely invest in it.
How many tours did he have?
Decorated, gold star.
Decorated, like soldier, loves America, lost his wife, I believe, in a terrorist attack in Syria.
It's a weird thing about these guys. It's a common right-winger thing. What he's doing right now is establishing credentials for Joe Kent to be like, here's why Vinny is the GOAT. We fucking love Vinny. The film GOAT was about him. When they're trying to show that someone's trustworthy, they'll go, this person loves this country. I'm like, what does... Okay, I mean, I would disagree with that, but that's not even a good or a bad thing, really. I love things in America. I love people in America. I love places in America. There are even sort of aspects of a traditional kind of like American, personnel, whatever it is that I think are admirable. But to just broadly say that like they love this country, I think it's a little silly. But that's also not like, that doesn't prove they're trustworthy. Who gives a shit if they fucking love this country? But to these guys, it's a big fucking deal.
If I'm correct, that all of a sudden, 11 completed combat tours, primarily in Iraq, earned 6 Bronze Stars for his service.
All right, let's, by the way, see what this guy has on his little browser window right here. Joe Kent on X, WTI crude oil, Patrick Ray David, Chat GPT. They're always going to have the Chat GPT right up there.
So I don't know, Pat. They're out of nowhere. This just come out of nowhere that this happens because first of all, put this to the side. Thank him for his service. Awesome as a veteran. God rest his wife's soul. But when it comes to the stuff that we're hearing about leaked, if anything from him was leaked, because this is what it's kind of sounding like, was leaked, and somehow, because what's the first interview that he did? First interview, first podcast, went to Tucker.
Yep.
We're finding out from the CIA, and mind you, I talked about this earlier in the week. The CIA is not just going to wake up and go, yo, we're going to monitor Tucker. Because you guys know that they're not supposed to do any operations or any surveillance on American soil.
So first off, we know for a fact, based on Edward Snowden, that they're surveilling people all the time. Tucker Carlson has claimed, I don't believe this is actually substantiated anywhere, that the CIA was spying on him. That somehow he knew from like a whistleblower that the CIA was intercepting his messages. Now, 2 things there. A, it could be true. Probably because Tucker definitely seems to be getting money from Russia to spread propaganda. Free my goat Snowden. You ever seen the Oliver Stone movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing Edward Snowden? I haven't seen it. I've seen clips, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's kind of doing a weird voice. Anyway, yes. So, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, shit. I lost my train of thought. I'm very, very stupid. First off, this is a real low energy Vinny right here. Just talking real calmly, real casually about everything going on. But he is conflicted. He's trapped because he has 2 things in his brain that he both believes are to be true. A, everything Donald Trump says is good and right and appropriate. And B, everything my audience wants me to talk about is good and right and appropriate. And those 2 things are starting to, because Donald Trump is, very clearly beholden to Israel, and the Republican Party largely is, and he's doing war and murdering people on behest of Israel. And so a lot of neo-Nazis don't like that too much. And listen, on this issue, at least in aim, if not in execution, I do agree with the neo-Nazis. All right? Don't take that out of context. Don't take that out of context.
That type
no,
of
never.
No.
Tom!
Yeah, no, why would they do
Tom,
that?
jump scare.
So that means that you're communicating with the foreign nation that we're freaking about to go to war with. They're going to tap your phone. So this is starting to look like there were some leaks from the top that trickled down to somebody like Tucker. Tucker was in communication with Iran, and this could look really, really, really bad.
I think this is nastier than you guys think.
Way worse.
Oh, Patrick's coming in. Now, all of the things that Tucker is saying, like I got intel from Iran, could be true. I don't really particularly believe anything Tucker Carlson has to say on first principle, but it's not impossible. I mean, Tucker Carlson, due to being cut off from institutional money in America at least, he's able to be considerably more anti-Semitic, just openly anti-Semitic. Really bad. Dark, bad shit. I do not like Tucker Carlson. You do not have to hand it to him. Okay? He is able to ask a lot of politicians questions that American journalists wouldn't ask for any number of reasons, fear of loss of access, et cetera, et cetera. He is able to ask, Mike Huckabee why we're going to war with Iran. So it's a real problem we're getting in America where I don't like neo-Nazis. I don't want them to be right. But in one very particular issue, they're not the only ones who are right, but they do happen to be right about this, okay? So the issue is that there is not an elite cabal of Jews that control everything. There is no one group that controls everything. That being said, the government of Israel, for a variety of complicated sociopolitical reasons, really more, other kind of socioeconomic as well, for a lot of very complicated reasons, the government of Israel has an undue influence, an oversized influence on American politics. Now, the difference between the Jewish people and the government of Israel, I'm talking about the government, not even the people of Israel, who, when polled, have a lot of views I don't agree with. But I'm going to talk about a people very different than I talk about their government. Because the government's the one actually making these fucking decisions. Does the average Israeli want to murder Palestinians? Based on polling, they do. But guess what? They're not the ones actually doing it. So actually doing it does make a big fucking difference. Same thing in that every Israeli wants to, going against the thing I said, the government of Israel wants to fucking decimate the Palestinian people. Guess what? The government of Hamas wants to decimate every Jewish person on earth. That being said, the government of Hamas isn't really fucking doing it. Actually doing it makes a big goddamn difference. All right, what's Patrick Bet-David going to swoop in and say? This is nasty, guys. This is nastier than you think. Then he takes out a copy of 50 Shades of Grey, and he's like, this shit nasty.
What do you think? What do you think
I think this is going to go all the way to the top.
Really?
I think this is going to go all the way to the top.
Your opinion, what do you think? Like, how did this all, like, what made him go on X, post a letter, say he's going to retire?
No.
Or he's resigning?
By the way, calling Twitter X, you should immediately be in jail for that. If you refer to the website Twitter as X, you don't get to vote. You're on a list.
Well, listen, allegedly,
do not live by a school.
There was a couple guys that confronted him because he got caught showing, and he promised that he wasn't going to do anything. He finally confessed.
Showing what?
That he shared intel with Tucker.
Oh, man.
Okay, and they addressed it. They went up to him, allegedly. Okay? So allegedly they did.
And but you mean intelligence? They were like, yo, dude.
Yeah, guys are like, hey, why are you leaking info to Tucker? And then he comes back, and now there is even stories. So if you remember last year, again, remember, Laura Loomer last year. Say what you want about her. She got, Waltz, fired from his position, okay, with the stuff that was showing. Last year, she took...
What? Laura Loomer didn't. First off, Waltz, you mean Tim Waltz? He didn't get fired. He's stepping down because people wouldn't stop fucking harassing him. But Loomer's not even the grifter who did that. That was that Nick Shirley kid. The kid who legitimately, not as a joke, not ironically, probably has Down syndrome. I mean, he's got something. You see interviews with Nick Shirley, he legitimately is not okay. I don't know exactly what's wrong with his skull, but something's off.
She says this. I told you last year that Kent leaked President Trump's private messages in meetings, particularly his meetings with Jewish Republicans, to Tucker Carlson and Max Blumenthal, when admin officials caught Kent, who was in the hallway to Trump's office, when he was seen picking up his phone and texting Tucker. He was confronted by senior White House officials who wanted to see if he would lie to their faces. So they cornered him and asked him if he leaked to Tucker. They said he knew it was him. Kent confessed. Kent told him, if you ever do that again,
this is so
you're
fucking
fired.
boring.
Kent was told, if you ever do that again, this was a year ago.
People watch this for entertainment.
The other officials told them that, the senior White House officials. So then, now you're hearing reports that this is a little bit weird to even talk about. Now you're seeing reports of, yesterday, Tulsi, or 2 days ago, she's being asked and pressed on questions about this, and her answer is very vanilla. Okay? Very
vanilla? Like she does it in Missionary or something? By the way, it came out recently, which is very funny, that when Tulsi Gabbard was running for president in 2020, I guess it was, she was selling a shirt on her website that said "No war with Iran." That was her big thing. Fuck her. I never liked her. Why? Because I don't trust women. And we posted dubs on that one. Those of us who never trust women, we don't post all dubs, but we post a lot of dubs. All right? That's all I'm saying.
Vanilla. Very, very vanilla. And remember, for the last 6 months, what has everybody been saying? Where's Tulsi?
I haven't seen her.
Where's Tulsi? Where's Tulsi? So, to me,
I've never
is this
once
it,
in my
Rob, where
life
she's
been
kind of
like,
like,
"Where's Tulsi?"
said a lot of things in that letter.
shit.
Yeah, this is the one. So if you want to, it's a minute 30. If you want to play it and go play it.
They could prepare this.
Thank you.
They could edit this out. They could have timestamps. The level to which they do not give a shit about producing this program is very impressive.
I also wanted to ask this because this week there was a high-profile resignation of Director of National Counterterrorism Center. Now, I want to be clear from the outset. I've communicated directly with President Trump my support for Operation Epic Fury, and I was very not only disappointed, but how inappropriate this letter was. And I want to read a statement that and get your personal assessment, whether you agree or disagree with that. And that's this. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed no imminent threat to the United States and that you should strike
so big right now.
There was
Vinny.
a clear path to a swift...
I think Vinny might have just been nodding off. Inappropriate. God, this is boring. Why? One of the big problems we have in the world right now is everyone feels like they need to have an opinion on politics to feel smart. These people on the Patrick Bet David podcast, the people on the podcast, the people listening to the podcast, guess what? You don't. You don't have to fucking know who Elise Stefanik is. You shouldn't know. This is why we need to get people back into movie theaters. You should have an opinion about who took their boobs out in a movie. Not whether or not we're going to war with Iran. We're always going to war with Iran. We're bombing shit in the Middle East every fucking day. Oh, what's that? We personally sent over a machine that mulches Palestinian toddlers. What is it, Tuesday? Who gives a shit? Return to the theater. Children yearn for the theater. And that's what millennials did. Millennials, we decided we were too into politics. It would make us smart. And now Gen Z is like, I don't give a fuck. I might be a Nazi. I might be a communist. That's why everyone says, oh, Gen Z is like politically radical. It's because everyone in the middle doesn't give a fuck at all. For Gen Z, for you to even kind of give a shit, you have to be a Nazi or a fucking communist. If you're just a normal dude, you're like, I don't give a fuck. Politics doesn't matter, dude. I'm looks maxing. I'm smashing my face with a hammer so I can heal handsomer. That's who I'm voting for, the hammer.
Victory.
Let me tell you why
this
it's
was a
going to go all
lie,
the way to the top.
and it's the same tactic
Go a little
the
bit fast
Israelis
forward
used to draw
until
us
she's
into a
asking the
disastrous
questions about to come
Iraq.
Okay, right there.
He said a lot of things in that letter. Ultimately, we have provided the president with the intelligence assessments, and the president is elected by the American people and makes his own decisions based on the information that's available to him.
But do you agree with, does that statement he made, blaming Israel, concern you?
Yes.
Okay, so watch this. Go back.
We're going to rewind it now? We're going to see that? We'll say this about Tulsi Gabbard, though.
20 seconds.
Let her come back
from the moment she starts talking and what she says. Tulsi's a pro.
Oh, I love
and look, but you have to realize what's going on here, Vinny. Press play. Listen, what's going on here?
Tulsi Gabbard, most fuckable presidential candidate of my lifetime. Willing to say it. Weirdly enough, number 2, Kucinich. I will not go back and pause it.
He said a lot of things in that letter. Ultimately, we have provided the president with the intelligence assessments.
Not
and the president
position. She's
is
not defending position.
Elected by the American people
And then look
and
what
makes
she
his own
asked.
decisions based on the information that's available to him.
We
But
gave
do you
you the
agree with-
information. You make the decision. Right? Pause it right there, Rob. Pause it right there because she's asking that follow-up.
You already paused it.
Go back when she starts following up with the question right there, please. So
But
watch
do you
her
agree
answer.
with- does that statement he made, blaming Israel, concern you?
Yes.
What does that mean? Yes. Concern you could mean, yes, yes, it concerns me.
Yes.
So, but yes could mean I agree with them.
Of course.
Right.
She's
Not
finally-
yes means I'm not.
It's a vague yes.
So she may resign in the next few days. I wouldn't be surprised if she's next and she resigns. I don't think she will be.
A funny thing Patrick Bet-David will often do is because he doesn't actually care about politics, like I said, but he does care about being a lying grifter who scams people. So he will start talking about this shit. Yes could mean yes. But what he's saying, which is not wrong, he's like, see how Tulsi Gabbard said that and it didn't mean anything and she got out of actually having any position because she's also a lying grifter con artist? I like that and I respect that. Oftentimes, Patrick Bet-David will be like, you'll see what he did in that thing. It reminds me of when I need to offload new Honda. It's new Honda Civic. And it's, listen, I say new, but 1989 could be new for some people. I don't know. Patrick Bet-David loves the grift. And I love that about him.
Be fired. I think she will resign. Okay, I think she'll step down in the next few weeks, maybe. And by the way, my guesstimation, my gut feeling of her resigning, 20, 30%.
Okay.
That's still a high number. Oh, yeah.
That's pretty
oh, yeah.
high.
And I mean,
I also love, he'll do this a lot too, where PBD is kind of Indian. PBD is spiritually Israeli and spiritually Indian. Somehow he's both at the same time. Let me tell you, you're about to be value-tained, but only if you show me boob and vagine. And this is maybe how you can tell I'm not really racist. I'm not that good at the ethnic voices. A real racist will be like, here's an Indian voice from this region. Here's an Indian voice from this particular suburb of New Delhi. You talk more like this. No, Patrick Bet-David will often prescribe percentages to things that are sort of weirdly specific, which is very, very funny. And he'll just be like, chance of it happening, 22.5%. What? The fuck are you talking about? You know, I go home, maybe my children want to watch Frozen, maybe they want to watch Frozen 2. I'd say percentage about 46% Frozen 2. Fuck.
Let me tell you what else happened yesterday, which is kind of weird. Story comes out with J.D. Vance now saying, dropping stories out there to people, which is what? Hey,
I'm not going to run.
Have you seen this? Rob, can you verify this if this is true or not? Is story of from the AFP Post News saying that
you could check all this beforehand.
J.D. Vance is considering not running for president in 2028 due to
you have a very
family
nice
priorities.
Set. You have money for a producer.
Okay. Did you guys see this or
It was
no?
in the podcast. You sent it in the
They probably
Yeah,
have a
not-
fucking producer, and it's just like Vinny's cousin who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's on probation.
Going to run in 2028. Do you see anything coming up, Rob?
Yep, right there.
Okay. The decision to keep J.D. Vance in the situation Vance was deeply emerged behind the scenes. No, not this one, Rob.
Will you please check this?
It's
It's Rob. Rob's the producer. Can you show that? No, that's wrong. Hire an editor. PPD. I will edit this shit out of your live streams. $150K a year, full health insurance. I am not moving to Miami. But, all right, here's the deal. I will produce your show. I'll move to Miami. I'll live in the bank vault. I'll produce the whole thing. All right? All I need, $150 a year, full health benefits, and 4 Minex with Vinny. I need 4 Minex to really learn how to live life.
It's just
It was in the
right there. You just had it right there. Go back to Twitter. It was the next story. No, not there.
Pat, can I read it for you?
Yeah.
So,
No, I have it. Rob
Okay.
has it as well. I just want him to find it. I texted to him this morning. So if you go to the right there above it. Okay.
Oh yeah, it was the first thing you
They
did.
do seem to have a new studio right here. They're in like an airplane hangar now or some shit. I thought this might have been a like a special on location recording. Also, it's very funny. Look at this. All this money, they couldn't get like adult tables. These appear to be child's tables for everybody. Also, we're almost 10 minutes in. Neither Adam nor Tom have said anything yet. They're my absolute favorite. Tom is the wonk. They'll cut to him when they're like, we need a breakdown on the business or whatever the fuck it'll be. I'll be like, some people like how they are below PBD. Literally true. Literally accurate. This seating setup is designed as ritual humiliation. And I respect the hell out of it. Okay? I gotta pee. Guys, I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna be right back. We're gonna watch a little more of this video. Give you another 20 minutes or so. I'll get the fuck out of here. Back. Chill. Patient. Had a good pee-pee. Peed in the sink. Anyone else do that? Pee in the sink? It's really a 6'2" and over kind of situation. All right. We got to get Tom in here. He's old. He eats at the same restaurant, Casa D'Angelo's every day. And then over here we've got Adam, who the thing about Adam is basically he represents like just the average, like Vinny is a lunatic. He is a psychopath who screams about whatever in the day, who just varies. He's like Candace Owens. This is literally untrue. This is literally true. He could be described as Candace Owens if she was unhinged. Candace Owens, but not chill about it. Adam is like just a normal idiot, bro, asshole guy, who will be like, guys, what you need to understand. He also has the voice. He sounds like RFK Jr. He sounds like if someone made an RFK Jr. voice modulator, like they use in the Scream movies, where they go, "Have you ever seen a scary movie?" A kind of voice modulator, very similar. If they have something like,
"You ever seen a scary movie? This is a voice modulator. Fuck you."
That kind of thing, right?
Hello.
Anyway, if they had one of those for RFK Jr. and a normal guy talk through it, Adam's just kind of like, this guy, this is what we do. And he owns restaurants in Miami, whatever. But for whatever reason, the audience of the Patrick Bet-David program fucking hate Adam. If you look at the comments on any Patrick Bet-David video, the first 3 comments will be like, "I hate libs. My stupid daughter lib. And every time I turn on TV, it black people," or something. And then the rest of the comments will just be like, "Adam needs to eat a gun. Adam needs to jump off a building and die." They fucking hate him so much. I'm not entirely sure why. It's very funny.
D. Vance is considering not running for president in 2028 due to family priorities. This is 11 hours ago. Mm-hmm. Vance will discuss this matter with his family to decide if the timing is right. If wife Usha is currently pregnant with their 4th child. Other speculation suggests that Republican polling.
Oh, yeah, literally in the intro song for the episode, "Did you ever think I would make it?" Then you just hear PBD go, "Adam, shut up. Adam, shut up." They lean into it. It's so weird. I don't know why everyone hates Adam so goddamn much. I mean, I both don't know and completely get it. Seeing him, I'm like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Shows strong push for Marco Rubio and causing Vance to reconsider political environment. Strategists caution that a heavily contested primary followed by a general election loss as VP could potentially decimate Vance's future ambitions as the primary. And so
he won't have
if
the balls
you
to,
run
not acknowledging
and you
it.
lose in the primary to Rubio and you're the vice president, That's a pretty heavy thing right there to happen. So to me,
I have no idea what this has to do with Tulsi Gabbard, who we were talking about previously, or the war in Iran. He has completely moved his audience away from it. Will J.D. Vance run for president in 2028? Probably. It all depends. If Trump's not dead, they will try to run him again because I don't know. We'll see what the hell happens in the future. But, there's just no Republican that can capture the base in the way Trump does. At least that's what I think. Well, I think Tucker Carlson could probably do it. If Tucker Carlson wanted to, I think he could win the presidency in 2028. But other than that, I don't think anyone on the Republican side could win. Not to say, who the fuck knows? Don't put it beyond the Democrats to just grasp defeat from the jaws of victory. It is one of their great skills.
Where does all this go? The alliance. Tucker, Joe Kent.
Well, you mentioned it.
Probably Tulsi. If Joe Kent is your direct report, you're probably part of that camp as well.
I think so.
Then you have probably Massey, and you have a small little dotted line to J.D. Vance. So I think what just happened with Joe Kent is the nuclear bomb to put a
back. I shouldn't have doubted him.
Divide between them. And I know yesterday the press secretary, who does a phenomenal job, she got up and she said to all the people that are saying stuff that's going on with Tulsi, shame on you or whatever, she kind of defended her while Tulsi is standing behind her. But let's not get it twisted. Tulsi's very ambitious.
Oh, yeah.
Tulsi's very ambitious, and she doesn't see herself as just having this job. That's the one, Rob, I think. Is that it? Yeah, play the clip.
I think, who is saying that she would release this to try to boost her standing with the president? Who has said that? Well, the president has publicly undermined her when it came to Iran. He said she was wrong. He told me that she didn't know what she was talking about. That was on Air Force One on camera. The only people who are suggesting that the director of national intelligence would release evidence to try to boost her standing with the president are the people in this room.
That is true. Well, Patrick David just is full of shit. He's good at bullshitting. That is what so many fucking grifters are. It's why I always have and this is kind of weirdly controversial, but and this will make sense. I'll tie it in, I promise. Everyone in the world is just so full of fucking shit. Patrick Bet-David is just spinning the wheel, saying nonsense that doesn't matter, doesn't mean anything, trying to grasp it. It's like smoke. It means fucking nothing. And he's just lying to you for money. So in a weird way, I've always respected J.K. Rowling's transphobia. Let me explain. Now, I would say J.K. Rowling's transphobic. I don't think she's a Nazi. I think she's British. In Britain, you can be transphobic and otherwise be progressive. What up, Zig? Thanks for joining us, man. In the United Kingdom, you can be transphobic, but otherwise pretty progressive, liberal, whatever, In America, not really. If you're transphobic, you're just a fucking Nazi. You're just a Republican. You're into all that whole thing. In the UK, you can you can. And J.K. Rowling, I think, is not a Nazi. I think she's relatively progressive otherwise. But she has a position that I believe to be sincere. I know, right? We're getting into it. Welcome. Her position that is sincere is she thinks trans women, which are the only fucking trans people anyone really gives a shit about, to be honest with you. There are tons of trans men. In fact, now, the vast majority of, I don't know if you exactly call them trans people, but non-binary people, the vast majority of gender non-conforming people, as it would be, are young, assigned female at birth who identify as non-binary as they go into middle school and high school. But people who are weird about trans people don't give a shit. People who are brain broken by the concept of girl dick. And J.K. Rowling is definitely amongst those people. They really only give a shit about trans women. They don't care about trans men. And J.K. Rowling's position is that trans women are just men who are trying to invade female spaces. I think that position comes from a combination of old school feminist theory and J.K. Rowling's personal history of being abused by men. I don't agree with that position. I do not think that broadly there is an epidemic of men trying to invade female spaces by, claiming, quote unquote, to be trans. I think that people being trans is an evolution it's first off nothing new. It's not like people just started being trans. We started talking about it more publicly, but there have been people who have defied the gender binary for generations upon generations, for hundreds of years, as long as people have been people. First off, the concept of the gender binary is fluid and weird, and we've expressed it in a lot of different ways. And so I think that people being trans now, the increased rates of transness, especially in young people, are the next generation dealing with the inelegacies, if that's a word, dealing with the lack of nuance involved in a traditional gender binary. The idea that, I think the reason you see a lot of young women who are non-binary, I don't think I'm saying anything really terribly controversial, to be entirely honest with you. I mean, if anyone disagrees with me, feel free to sound off. But I think that the idea of a trans person is largely a response to the restrictions of a gender binary. And if you are, a young signed female at birth, a young girl, whatever you want to say, you're being told that, okay, this is what being a woman is. This is what being a girl is. This is the identity. And they will say, well, there's a lot of that I don't relate to. I'm not strictly, I'm not within that. And I think that really everybody just kind of rounds up, or down if you're a woman. If you're a woman, you're rounding down. You're going down. That's the one. That's the worst one. That was controversial. But everyone just rounds up or down, basically, on and says, I guess I'm a man. Like, I identify as a man. It's not something I've really ever put a lot of time into. Not biologically. I mean, I promise you, my dick is tiny. I identify as a man. When it gets cold, my dick identifies as a pussy. All right? How was that? Really good joke, guys. Really, really good. Let me try this. I identify as a man. Let me tell you, the other day I hopped in a cold pool. My dick identified as a pussy. That didn't work. Fuck. Let me try it again. Listen, I identify as a man. All right? But the other day, it was really cold outside. My dick identified as a pussy. Nailed it that time. Nailed it. Now, J.K. Rowling has different views than me. Views I disagree with. And some people say they're abhorrent views. I agree that a lot of her political activism is harmful. Not all of it, but a lot of it I think is harmful to people. Got to go to the... Oh, shit, you are right. Why was I not in the comedy club for that one? Hey, everybody. Welcome to the comedy club. All right, guys. Oh, my God. Is this going to work now? What does this work? Yeah. Okay. There's got to be a way to do this. Rim shot. Back to the beginning. Okay. So, how's it doing out there? How we doing? Let's hear it for your host. Let's hear it for your host, Jim Brewer, everybody. Keep it going. And your feature act, John Mulaney, who opens for me. Keep it going for him. All right, guys. Let's hear it for him. Keep it going for him. Thank you. Yes, loving it. Oh, my God. Good to see everybody. So, everybody out there. Oh, what's my pronouns? Everybody's got their pronouns. Everybody's woke now. You got any woke people in the audience? Let me tell you something. I got to be honest. I, personally... I identify as a man. Okay? Boo, boo. I know. I identify as a man. But the other day, it was really cold outside. I can tell you something. My dick identified as a pussy. Wait, let me tell you something. Back in my day, you would have had a fork in your ass up on the rafters. Now we get this video again. My point is that say what you will about J.K. Rowling's, say what you will about her positions on trans people. I don't really care for them too much either, okay? But I honestly respect that she's being honest. It is losing her money. It's fine. She has plenty of money. She lives in a fucking literal castle. She has billions of dollars. And she spends all day mad on Twitter. It's really, really is wild. But she's not bullshitting you. She is honestly expressing an unpopular opinion. And in a world where everybody is just fucking full of shit all the time, everyone on the show, Caroline Levitt is lying and she knows she's lying. Tulsi Gabbard is lying and she knows she's lying. All of these people here, with the exception of maybe Vinny, due to him possibly having part of his brain removed when he was a child, the part that regulates head-based blood flow and mood in general, they're all lying to you. At least J.K. Rowling is honest about being a piece of shit. And I respect that.
Who constantly try to sow distrust and chaos amongst the president's cabinet, and it is not working. I will just answer your question directly. I am with the president of the United States every day. He has the utmost confidence.
Yeah, totally. Listen, we're not fighting. The administration's not fighting. We're actually maybe fighting the least anyone's ever fought, and maybe actually everyone's cool. No, Vinny is definitely way more brain damaged. Adam is pretty much just a normal guy. That's the thing. Like, he's awful. He's an idiot, and, he's evil foundationally, but, he's basically just a normal dude.
And Director Gabbard, he always has, he continues to, and that is true of his entire cabinet, who is all working as one team to deliver on the promises this president made. Does anyone else have...
You can pause it. She may be one of the best ones ever. Now, obviously, I can't say she's the GOAT, because we all know Karine Jean-Pierre is the GOAT. We can't ever undermine her.
She's really
for
good.
her to read off the papers, everything was written to her.
Now, Karine Jean-Pierre, I know this because I'm weird, was Joe Biden's press secretary. You shouldn't know that. Was not particularly, she was a black woman, which is the reason they're feeding their audience this bullshit about her being terrible. But it's not, but it's literally like the right-wing thing where they'll be like, you understand how much we love, but we're only doing this to get back to the Democrats who couldn't stop talking about how much they loved Renee Jean-Pierre. People loved her. They're just like doing terrible things in response to terrible things that didn't happen that they made up.
The ChatGPT press secretary that we had, Karine Jean-Pierre, but I
you
think something's going on
use
here.
ChatGPT for everything. Everything is AI, and you're I don't know why that fucking triggered me. That fucking triggered me good. That you guys use AI for everything.
Way to the top. By the way, can you verify this?
Chill.
Did Joe Kent vote for Bernie Sanders?
Yes.
Did he vote for Bernie Sanders? Was he a Democrat until like 2021 or something like that?
2016, he voted for
until
Bernie,
until 2021, Joe Kent was a registered Democrat. In 2020, he voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary. Vinny, do you see this? That he voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary.
So look at the comments over here, which they're not going to read. They're not going to acknowledge. First, which they won't acknowledge. 40% off Shop Terias Inns tonight. Excludes single tallow jar purchases. Single lip balm. That is exactly what kind of ads this algorithm would feed to these people. But then next underneath, Team Kent, Trump ain't doing what he promised. So what? Joe Kent sacrificed more than 90% of America for this country. Team Kent. I don't think they're going to address those comments, is my theory.
He switched to the Republican Party in 2021.
Oh, so that's very recent.
Yeah. Very recent.
So did Tulsi.
And not...
That is, Tom's little fucking face right there. So did Tulsi. God, I want to bully him. I'm probably old enough to be my dad, and I want to beat him like he's a freshman. It'd be funny if you had asked Vinny, who had gone, that was a long time ago. How long ago was 2021, Vinny? And he had to do math real quick. Oh, fuck. I think he might have died, had a stroke.
Voted for Biden. He voted for a socialist.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Not Biden. So this isn't like Tulsi, or this isn't like voted for Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
Adam.
And
now, but also these guys will say that Joe Biden and I've heard them literally say Gavin Newsom's a radical leftist, Wait, the guy that's speaking, he right wing or left wing? He is in from Europe. Oh, where are you coming from in Europe? What a degenerate country. So the guy that they're speaking of, Joe Kent, was in the Trump administration, so he's very right wing, and they're saying that he voted for Bernie Sanders, who they're saying was a socialist, and they're like, listen, this guy was so left wing. No, I do remember you. I just don't fucking remember. It got heated rivalry is what it got it. We were on the ice. I remember you, Ziggy. I think you have a different name right now than you did before, but I remember you being in here. I just don't remember where in Europe you're from. Oh, you're the guy from Serbia. Okay, no, I do remember you being in here. Thanks for joining us. But yes, Serbia isn't Europe. You guys don't. Eastern Europe isn't Europe. You guys get your own thing with a very cool brutalist aesthetic. But yes, they are saying that Joe Biden was a moderate Democrat here, but previously they have said he is a radical, crazy socialist, Marxist, Maoist, dingus, whatever the fuck.
Also apparently voted for Bernie in 2016 when he was the...
Right.
But, so with this Joe Kent story, the first thing I thought of when I heard, well, Joe Kent said something about Trump was, who's Joe Kent? I mean, let's face it, we study politics. I've been actively studying...
Yeah, I probably called you a Nazi at some point. Or Lamp might have. She calls everybody a Nazi. Now, to be fair, you might be Are you the teenager who was like, we need to bring back the Bible into school or some shit? I don't know. Whatever. Listen, you need to get value-tained, man. You need to lift weights. Go to movie theaters. That's what you need, young man. Yeah, so Adam's not wrong. They don't study politics. They're wrong about that. They do not give a shit. They do not care. But they are correct. They don't know who Joe Kent is, and no one should know who Joe Kent is.
Studying politics for at least a decade.
Right.
We've been doing the show for 6 years. I've never heard of this person. Have you ever heard of him before this situation? The name didn't ring a bell to me.
So I want to know where you're going with that. Because to me...
You'll notice, this is another Patrick Bet-David thing, where oftentimes if he's asked a question, he'll go, I want to see where you're going with that, instead of answering it. Because obviously he never heard of Joe Kent. He doesn't fucking know who Joe Kent is. Doesn't give a shit. They probably couldn't tell you who Joe Kent is now. They've forgotten already, and this was 8 hours ago. It was 7 when I started. But I've been talking for a while. So they obviously don't care, but he doesn't want to say that.
You don't get the job, the director of national counterterrorism, without being somebody.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You know, the vetting process should come into question. But at the end of the day, we're saying, do you trust some guy you've never heard of?
Yeah, I trust him, man.
Or the president of the United States that all 4 of us has voted for? To me, it's 100% versus 0. Now, let's go deeper of who this person is, though. We're not just going to dismiss him and say, can't trust anything because I don't know you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's go a little deeper. Apparently, he did vote for Bernie in 2016, then vote for him in the primary. Then there's even Trump tweeted, hey, this is what this guy said 2 years ago. Complete Iran hawk. And now he's this Iran dove, and then it's basically
you guys hear that too?
Fizzled down to, Trump's controlled by Israel.
I'm not that good at it. I'll do it for you, Patrick.
So to me, at the very least, he's flip-flopping, he's impressionable. But at what point, how did this happen? So 2 quick stories. I used to have one of my best friend's younger brother. Whenever I would see him, he was somebody new. I was like, oh, what's up, dude? How are you? He's like a little skater kid.
Don't you get it? He's annoying. I'm skipping past Adam. I find a minute. This is going on for like 3 minutes now. Come on. Enough, Adam. Shut up.
Yeah, sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you. And this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are...
Yeah, this is stupid. This was a thing recently. You used to own a 98 Chevy? No shit. I learned to drive on cars from the 80s. That's how fucking old I am and how shitty the cars were. MAGA GOP view on Trump. This is a poll that came out and it's very stupid, where they were like, do you know that 100% of MAGA voters approve of Donald Trump? It's like, what do you think a MAGA voter is? Who's the MAGA voter who's like, I'm just MAGA, I don't like that? It's a cult of personality. Who was at Jonestown and they were like, I don't know, man, I just like the Kool-Aid. Yeah, 100% of the cult leaders approve of the leader. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, duh. It's fucking stupid. We polled a number of people who liked Donald Trump, and it turns out they liked Donald Trump. Do you know that recently in a CNN poll, they found out that 100% of people will respond to a CNN poll? Yeah, it really is crazy.
Are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have
to. True? Only 31%. Oh, amongst non-MAGA. Well, that's an even crazier one. How are you GOP and not MAGA? Well, they're just lying to you. This is always the fucking thing I always tell people about this, because it always happens, and it's happening right now, where everyone's like, oh, the GOP's splintering. You know, Republicans are leaving Trump. Every single time he's ran for president, 3 times now, every single time, and it's only gotten more stark each time. We've seen far more people are willing to vote for Donald Trump than are willing to admit they will vote for Donald Trump. I don't care what Republicans say. Every single Republican will vote for Trump again if given the chance. Every single one. This 31% who are disapproving of. First off, everyone who's in the GOP and says they're not MAGA is a fucking liar to begin with and should be dismissed immediately. That is the Republican Party. Shut the fuck up. But the 31% who is like, well, I disapprove of Trump, they will vote for him again. Now, the question is, will they vote for J.D. Vance? Will they vote for Marco Rubio? That's the question the GOP might have to present to them. They're hoping they can figure out a way around it, but they might have to.
Be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
Look at the fine print. 66-31 among non-MAGA. So that means
even against non-MAGA, he still has.
That's Tom, by the way, the wonk coming in and being like, there were other numbers I read. Did you see those?
That's 2/3 of them.
Correct.
So,
that's right
when
there.
When they say MAGA, they mean the Trump's base.
Like guys like you.
The hardcore.
Yeah.
On MAGA 2.0.
You're right.
But basically, listen, you do an Instagram poll, you ever done an Instagram poll? I could say, hey, do you want me to give you $1 million or do you want me to kick you in the balls? You're going to still have 2 to 3% that's like,
are those my only choices?
I'm going to take that ball kick, buddy.
Tom's really into it.
You do not get 100% consensus on anything.
Yeah.
So let's just call that 98%. That's where MAGA is with Trump.
Tom.
They're not leaving Trump, the guy they've known to be the president and the leader of their movement for 10 years, for some guy they've literally never heard of. Nice try, buddy.
Tom.
Yeah. This is so stupid. Yes, that's no. They're being goofy.
We need to step back and look at something in Washington.
Don't tell me that.
The history of leakers in Washington have come from intelligence communities and
Tom,
people that are undermining this president or that president. One of the most famous leakers, if you know your history, was during Watergate. And
all these guys are pretty good at just killing time. I'll cut to Tom. It's History Corner with Professor Tom.
Woodward and Bernstein referred to it as Deep Throat. Now, Deep Throat's got terrible connotations because it was the name of a porn film in the 70s.
Tom, let's just stay on politics and Watergate.
Woodward and Bernstein
having a little fun with Tom. All right, they're doing bits with Tom. By the way, he refers to a horrible thing, a blowjob. One of the worst things someone can do. Tom, no! Just Vinny rushing over, diving for him. Tom, no!
Referred to it.
So sorry, Pat.
You know, the guy, I don't know if it shows it here, but the guy who was eventually exposed to have been Deep Throat, which was the guy that was leaking to Woodward and Bernstein, all during Watergate, Mark Felt, who was deputy director of the FBI.
Okay.
And so now you've got a guy inside the intelligence community that was leaking to a major member of the media. This is the way it works.
And who was the member of the media?
Tucker Carlson.
Oh,
so
interesting.
It's a kind of a media voice. Call him what you will. He's a member of the new media, the alternative media that we're part of. We're part of the podcast that people trust more than they trust regular. But think about that. And also, do you know what happens in October?
Slutty daiquiris.
On October of 2026, Tulsi celebrates her 2nd anniversary of being a Republican. Remember, she switched right before the election.
Happy anniversary,
so
Tulsi.
I think I don't know what's going on, but
she switched right before the election. That's how you know it was sincere.
People are selecting teams, and teams are becoming very obvious. You know, something that Pat said 2 years ago, something very strange will happen, and you'll see.
Remember when he just brought up Watergate earlier? There's a history of leakers. For example, Watergate. Now we go on to the... I hate Tom the most. I feel about Tom the way people feel about Adam. Okay? They are... Well, everyone's waiting. When they're not on camera, they're just on their phones. At any moment, they're just posting fucking, you know. What are my letterbox likes? Did I get some letterbox likes? What did I get here? Okay. Cool, man.
Alliances form, and some of them will surprise you. You predicted it, and you didn't say who and when, but you said, guys, when things happen like this, alliances become visible.
Okay, enough. We've done enough PBD. We've done enough live streaming today. I've given you guys almost 2.5 hours. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the little button down there. Do something. I don't know. Be cool. Be happy. Be fun. Be nice to each other.